Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello students, as of now I guess you must be very clear about what this term ethics is all about. How important is it into your life? How important is it into your organizational life as well, right? So now in today's lecture we'll understand certain objectives of ethics, right? You understood it is important into your life, no doubt. But what are its basic objectives? What it has to do with your life? So we'll study it in this particular video. So let's start with the video. Objective of ethics. So what are the objectives of ethics? Now, everything would be successful only if you have certain clear objectives about it, right? Now, how should be your objectives? How should be your goals? They should be smart. Now, what do I mean by this term smart? Not smart like you. Smart over here means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. So any objectives that are smart will be successful. Similarly, our objectives into our life needs to be smart. We need to be very specific about what we want to achieve into our lives. It should be measurable, it should be quantifiable, right? It should be achievable and realistic as well at the same time. You are going to consider so many things which are not into your capacity. Will you achieve it? No. So you need to consider those things as well. What's the reality? And the last thing, that it needs to be time bound. Now what do I mean by this thing time bound? Okay, we'll take a simple example. Now, your class teacher have told you that by end of this week, I'll be conducting test for unit 1 into ethics. Now, it's time bound. That's by the end of this week. So how much time do you have? 1 week. So will you study within that 1 week? But of course. Now say for example, your class teacher said that you have to study this unit 1 of ethics. I'll be conducting a test. I'll let you know when I'll conduct it. Are you really going to open your books? I don't feel so. We don't open our books up to our examination comes, right? So what we're going to do? If it is not time bound, I'm not going to do it. So it has to be time bound. If it is time bound, I'll really be in that pressure to achieve that particular objective into the time. Similarly, the objectives of ethics are very clear. It has to do so many things into your life, right? So now by this subject ka end, I'm very sure you guys will understand how to lead a ethical life. So let's understand what is the objectives of ethics. So what are the objectives of ethics? First thing, objectivity for life. What is the objective of your life? Again, leading a good standard life, right? Now, how will you lead a good standard life? By following certain norms, rules, regulations, principles. Now, if I follow these things, my objective of life, that is leading a good standard life, will be very much achieved. What if I do not follow these things or these practices into my life? My objective of life will not be achieved. I'll not be able to achieve that good standard life. If you remember in the evolution of ethics, we studied that the biology and human behavior will collide with each other, and then there will be an informational feedback that will be received. Now once we receive an informational feedback, what happens? We either sustain or redirect the behavior. If I'm not ready to redirect the behavior, even though it is wrong, then that's something a wrong approach, right? I cannot do that. I have to redirect my behavior. And through redirecting the behavior, what do? I go away from the vicious cycle of pain. Does anyone over here requires a vicious cycle of pain? Is there anyone over here who loves pain? No one, right? What happens? We do not love pain over here, so we run away from this vicious cycle of pain. And when I run away, what will I do? I'll redirect my behavior and I'll achieve the objective of my life. So the first objective of ethics was fulfilling the objectivity of your life. Now what's the second objective of ethics? Second one is standards for life. Does it create certain standards into your life? Yes, it creates certain code of conducts which you have to accept. Again, it is an individual motive. If I say that you have to accept, doesn't mean that you're really going to accept it, right? It's an individual motive. It again depends on the situation as well. If you guys remember, I had taught you utilitarian ethics. Now it depends on the consequences. Now to give you a simple example here. You see a girl running in front of you straight on that road where you are standing. Now four boys, once that girl passes from there, four boys are running on the same street. They come to you and they ask you, did you see a girl running on the street? And they are somebody who are looking very weird like kidnappers. What will you do at this thing? Now since childhood we have been taught we have to speak the truth. But in this situation, will you speak the truth? Will you tell them the fact that you had seen a girl and she went running on the street straight? I don't feel so. Any of us would do that, right? Now this is what is your standard for life. This is what is greatest happiness of the good people. Now this is your utilitarian ethics. As I said, ethics depends on the utilitarian things. That's your consequences. If it is giving a good consequence, it is right. So over here, I'm not telling the truth. But still it is right. Why? Still it is ethical. Why? Because I'm saving the life of that girl who is running away from those kidnappers. So that's your standards of life which will be taught to you by the ethics. The third objective is fairness and judging actions. Now, as human beings, we judge every other person into our lives, right? Even a stranger, we are ready to judge. We are ready to pass statements on every other person into our lives. Now, I'll give you one suggestion. Before judging the other person, judge yourself. Why do I need to do that? Is that the question? For judging others, do I really need to judge myself? As for me, but of course, yes. Until and unless you do not understand yourself as a human being, how will you understand others? How will you understand their action? You need to be clear into your motives. You need to be clear what kind of individual you are. You need to be clear about how you're going to go ahead into your lives. If I understand all these things about myself, I would say that you will not go wrong into your decisions in your life. So you'll be really fair and you will really consider the people into judging the actions. But for that, you need to judge yourself first. So the fourth objective of ethics is accuracy. Now what does ethics gives you? Do's and don'ts of your life, right? So do's and don'ts, you should do this, you should not do this. That's very accurate, right? It's very clear. What happens over here? It's very clear. This particular action is wrong. This particular action is right. So it gives me an accurate result. It helps me in the times of dilemma. Now, what is this term dilemma? It's a confusion. Now, it's an ethical dilemma. Now, what's an ethical dilemma? As in the case that I said, the girl is running on the street. I have been taught since childhood that I have to speak the truth. But now I am into an ethical dilemma. Should I follow what has been taught to me since the childhood? Or should I save the life of that girl? So what happens over here? I am really confused. So I have to take decisions between two confusing decisions. Now what will happen? How will you take an accurate decision over here? Through ethics, right? It will tell me the do's and don'ts and I'll be very accurate in taking my decisions. The next objective of ethics is truthfulness. What's truthfulness? Whatever you say, you need to have a systematic explanation behind it. Your actions should be very well defined and very well justified by you. Now this is what your ethics helps into it. Now, again carrying forward the same example ahead, if I do not speak the truth over there, am I actually not following the ethics which have been taught to me by my parents? No. I have a systematic explanation for it. Now what's the systematic explanation? I had to save the life of that girl. And for saving the life of that girl, I have spoken the false over there. And that's completely fine. But from where did this confidence in you come? The truthfulness, the systematic explanation, the ethics. The next objective is impartiality and equality. Now, being impartial and being equal is really important, right? Now, equality, what do I mean by equality? I should treat each and every person equally. Remember one thing into your life, no person or no work is small. Each and every one is at par with each other. Now, if you are a manager of a company who is running on the roads into the BMW and there's a street hawker who is selling sandwiches over there, how will you react with that person? How will you behave with that person? Now, many of the times we behave with that person as if they are our servants. They are not our servants. They are earning their livelihood. Even they are taking the efforts. You are sitting in the air-conditioned office for 15 hours or 12 hours or 10 hours, and these people are standing on the roads in that pollution for same working hours or even more than that. Once you go back home, you can sleep peacefully. But can that hawker do that? No, he has to do the next day preparation as well. So what happens over here? Everyone has to be treated equally into your lives. You cannot consider any person or any work to be small. Let's take a simple another example. If you are an entrepreneur, you have a startup, you have started your own business. Now, in the start of your own business, are you really going to say that this is not my work and I'm not going to do it, I'll hire an employee for it? No, you have to do every work over there. Now imagine as an entrepreneur, you're into the hotel industry and you have started a restaurant. Now in the initial days, till the time you do not have proper number of employees, you may even have to go and clean the tables over there. But does that mean that cleaning the tables is going to hurt my ego, or is it going to make me a small person in the eyes of the other people looking at me? I don't feel so. Each and every work is equal, each and every person is equal, and so treat everyone equally. Now when it comes to impartiality, now this we have seen in the general organizational lives and in our general lives as well. We are impartial to people. If I talk about our general lives, the people who are very much like us, maybe into the status, we are very good to them. But the people who are not like us, maybe in terms of status, social class, or maybe in terms of anything else, maybe in terms of the qualification as well, we are not behaving properly with those people. Is this right? It's not right. You are behaving impartial. If I talk about the organization, what do you do over there? As a boss, what will I do? An employee who favors me a lot, an employee who is always ready to work for me is the best employee for me. But an employee who refuses to work for me for one single time, that person will be my enemy boss now. Now what you need to do over there? If that person has refused you one time, maybe that person may have some explanation behind that particular action that he had taken. Now you need to understand that, and you cannot behave impartially over there. Only that person is really good to you all the time. That is the reason you're giving that person promotion. When there are some other people into the organization who deserve promotion, is something wrong, right? So you need not be impartial, and you need to treat each and every one into your lives equal. The next objective of ethics is public accountability. Now what's public accountability? What do I mean by this term? Accountability. Accountability means answerability. I'm answerable to public. Am I really answerable to public? Okay, now if I talk about the big superstars, if I talk about the big entrepreneurs, they are for sure answerable to public. Why? Because anything wrong, any one mistake that they do, media will surely reach over there. Even if they sneeze, the media is going to reach over there, right? Now if media is going to reach over there, even if they sneeze, what will happen over here? Any one small wrong action is going to cost their entire life. But what about me, a general human being like you? Or what about you? Do we really need to answer the public? Now over here, the public doesn't only mean the entire nation. It's not nation wants to know. Even the people who surround you. There are certain people who surround you, right? Your friends, your families, your relatives, the general neighbors. But of course your neighbors, right? They have seen everything you do. So now, are you answerable to them? Many a times we say that we do not care about what people say. But I feel that yes, you are at least answerable to your friends, family, relatives. So you are answerable over there if you are doing anything wrong. So if you go wrong, you have that accountability at least towards your reference groups. Not the indirect reference groups, but at least towards the direct reference groups. So you need to be very careful about it. Whatever you do, your actions should be justified, as I said. If your actions are not justified, you're going to face a lot of problems into your life. So better than putting up a status as log kya kahenge, start thinking about at least the log who are around you, right? At least your immediate relatives, at least your immediate friends. They are the ones who will, but of course, consider what you're doing, and you need to consider them in whatever you're doing, right? So I hope for you guys now objective of ethics is clear. Now what ethics has to do into your lives, is it clear? So I hope that everyone is going to start following ethics, because it has to do so many things into your personal life as well, right? Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to Ekeeda. Subscribe Ekeeda.